Good morning everybody and welcome to a more upbeat Sunday morning show. Don't worry, I have read the comments and today's show is gonna be more upbeat. For starters, look at the sunrise. I just absolutely love it this time of year, and probably because I don't have to get up quite as early to see the sunrise. Coming out here in the summertime, I'd probably have to be up here at 5:30, 6 o'clock, getting myself ready to get out onto the golf course to create a Sunday morning show. But, you know, strolling out here at 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get ahead of the golfers behind me who are coming at me rapidly. So I need to get my pace on. Might skip a few holes as we kind of work our way around the golf course today. Now, I wasn't actually going to put a Sunday morning show together today. I was going to just let this week go. I've been a bit busy, so I thought I would just let it go. Like I said at the beginning of this year, I said that my objective this year was to go on a pace that I could kind of keep up with and not put myself under too much pressure. However, it's Friday and I've decided to spend the next 24 hours putting this show together for you so I can share with you some of the comments that have come in and how do I react to those kind of comments. Well, I react by creating videos. You guys are what helps me create the Sunday morning show, creates my thoughts when I go in and do a club review. It's you guys who comment down below that helps me create these videos. So when I've been reading the comments this week, I just felt like I've got to make this video. I've got to go out there, I've got to talk a bit more. I've got to be less doom and gloom, but I've got to go out and talk a bit more about why I do the Sunday morning show. But before I go on gibbering on, as I normally do, a little bit of an itinerary, a couple of things that I want to talk about, obviously from the title of this video, sponsorship changes. I want to get to talk about Footjoy and Titleist, and I also want to cover the vlogs element, so talking about the vlogs. And some of you may have heard me talk about this before, and I feel like I have, literally I feel like I'm repeating myself so many times, but I just want to get this information over as best I possibly can so everybody has a better understanding of where we're at with the vlogs on the channel. Lots of you join this channel because you enjoy the vlogs, and I get that, I fully understand that, and I want to cover that today and just tell you what the plans are moving forward for 2024 in the vlog department. Welcome back to the bag. RBZ, trusty rusty, point and shoot. How many? Go on, tell me, put your hands up. How many of you are happy to see the trusty back in the bag? The 5-wood, the RBZ, powerhouse, fairway hitter. When all goes wrong, pull out the 5-wood. Yep, for those of you that have played with me in Pro-Ams will know exactly what I'm talking about. When this little bad boy comes out, you can see how kind of worn out it is in the face there. I popped it back in the bag a couple of weeks ago, as in took it to Portugal with me, hit a few shots out there, hit 2 shots with it basically. First one I stuck to about a foot from 225 yards away, and that kind of cemented its position back in the golf bag. We've had a little ceremony in the office with it, so it's been a lovely couple of weeks, if I'm honest. Now let's talk about the Sunday morning show and kind of its roots, because I really want to get this across to people who come over to the Sunday morning show and see what they see, as in watch what they watch, and maybe comment negatively to say that they didn't want to see this type of video. Well, the Sunday morning show to me is what makes this channel almost a little bit unique to other channels out there. For those of you that know me personally, I'm I like storytelling. I'm somebody who likes to get things off my chest. I like to talk about things. And when Lester and I set up the Sunday morning show initially, it gave us an opportunity. Oh, did you try again? Okay, I will try again. It was an opportunity for him and I to give you a bit of an update on what was going on in our lives, how we were doing when it was coming to creating videos. And it was the foundation of the channel. It was a kind of one of those fillers, really, that we put in there because it was a Sunday morning. I was waking up on a Sunday morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning and putting on the TV and seeing all these cookery shows. I thought, right, well, why don't we put out a show? Why don't we talk about our lives? Why don't we talk about how this channel's going? And it did. It became the foundation of the channel and people bought into it and they loved it. I wanted to continue that on the Sunday morning show when Lester finished with me. I wanted to go out and carry on my journey, showcasing what's going on in my head, what's going on the channel, how the channel's going. I wanted to be open with everything. And I get YouTubers, other golf YouTubers, that come and watch my Sunday morning show and do comment on it. You'll see it in the comments. They enjoy it. They enjoy that element because actually probably a lot of it hits home to them of some of the stuff that they have to go through themselves. So if those of you that say that it's a bit doom and gloom sometimes, well, that's reality. That's life. Life is doom and gloom. I try and make it as upbeat as I can. For those of, again, who know me personally, know that I'm an upbeat person. I don't generally get doom and gloom in my life. I try not to. I try and make it as best I can. But maybe my storytelling comes across as a little bit doom and gloom. That's not it. So if you're coming to the Sunday morning show because you want to chill out with a coffee to get your game of golf going for that day or your day going, then that's what it's about. It's not going to be vlogging a golf course or talking about equipment. However, I do have the new SM10s in the bag and the 56 in the nickel video coming out this week. Well, it's beautiful. And coming out on the channel, ultimately the Sunday show is to share with you what's happened on the channel, what's happening on the channel. Well, we've had the 2-ball golf show, which is flicked over to this week or last week just gone, where Lester and I sit down and create a podcast about all things golf. It's kind of a spin-off from what the Sunday show kind of used to be, but it's a little bit more informative as giving our opinions on the golf world itself. And I just wanted to create some podcasts out there to see what could happen. I want to get the feedback from you guys as to, did you like it on the channel? Because I feel like people went off on a different tangent maybe from what we talked about in the video. I'd like to hear whether you think that actually was a good thing, and how have you enjoyed as well some of the reviews that have come onto the channel. I enjoy doing reviews, I enjoy looking at other tech out on the golf market, so I just want to hear your feedback as to how do you feel that the tech reviews that I've done of all the new releases, what's your thought on those? 140 into wind, back right pin. I'm a natural drawer of the golf ball, so that means I'd have to start this ball right of the green to get it anywhere near the flag. So this is where you don't get too silly. You don't go firing at the flag, you go aiming at that sort of conifer tree in the back there, and I try and start it a little bit left of that and just try and drift it back to the right. Aim my feet down the left, put that ball position slightly further forward, keep that club face nice and neutral or slightly open to my feet, and just swing along the line of my feet. Push it slightly and it might be stone dead. It's not stone dead because it's about a club and a half short, but not bad. And that is how I want to progress forward when it comes to playing different shots. What I've done there is I've actually said it out loud. So it's almost like I'm talking to you guys. I was chatting to you basically in that little segment there. But what's great about that is that I'm going through the process in my brain. And Paul, if you're watching this, not my brother Paul, my psychologist Paul, he will be smiling now, I hope, because ultimately I've just tried to access my process side of the brain to be able to play the shot instead of getting a bit emotional, staying in the right hand side of my brain and firing at the flag without even thinking about it too much, and then getting upset with myself because I've not, obviously I will probably would have short-sighted myself if I missed it right. So process the shot, go through it in your, try and say it out loud. If you say it out loud, it's like you're almost reassuring yourself, or you're talking to your caddy, which I think is actually a really good thing to do. Sometimes people like to say it internally. My brother, probably Paul, says it internally to himself. James Ruth internally probably. but I think that I need to actually start talking to somebody on the golf course, and ultimately that's why I bring you out with me. My little caddy group, you know, my psychology caddy group. So let's talk about sponsors for 2024. Well, the first thing you need to know, and again, I'm trying not to focus on the doom and gloom here, but I am going to be finishing with Titleist and Footjoy later on this week. And I'm not going to lie, I was very kind of disappointed, should we say, when I got the news that they basically weren't looking to continue my contract going into 2024. We made some changes, certainly from a Titleist point of view, moving into 2023, where I moved into using 14 clubs in the bag, which, gotta say, was a challenge, you know, to try and find clubs that work for me, that I've trusted for so long. The 5-wood is a prime example. Never really felt like I got to the bottom of exactly what I wanted to achieve with that club. Putting a spin on it as a positive, I am extremely excited to do some more exploring with the equipment that I use in my golf bag. Been probably a little bit restricted as to what I want to use or what I have to use for the contract. And some of you probably would look at my reviews and say, well, you're loyal to Titleist, so therefore your reviews are going to be a little bit more biased towards Titleist. They never were. I always made it very clear to Titleist that whatever I liked or whatever I disliked about a product, I was going to say that. And they were very supportive when it came to that side of it. But when it comes to the equipment in my bag, there is, like I said, there's going to be some changes. Already under this head cover, I'm looking at a slightly different driver. Got really kind of excited with some of the products that have just come out. In the fairway wood, I've never been particularly happy with my fairway woods over the last sort of few years, as in the 3-wood. So I've got one under this head cover which is slightly different. I'm excited to share that one with you maybe in a couple of weeks' time. And wedges wise, I think the only wedge that sort of jumps out to me that I want to maybe move around with or play around with is the lob wedge. I wanted to maybe look at a full face lob wedge, so I'm looking out there to see what an option might be when it comes to that. Iron wise, you know, I love the T100s, absolutely love them. I've loved all my Titleist irons, if I'm honest. So initially I'm not necessarily looking to change any of my irons in my bag, but I do want to go out to other companies and share with you the fitting processes that they go through, go to their HQs, go and see Ping direct. I've never had that opportunity, so you know, go up and see these companies and share with you some of the experiences that I'll experience, and then ones of which you can go and see for yourself if you want to go and do that. So I'm really excited to see what this bag kind of looks like moving into the season of 2024. Do you know, I got a picture that I saw the other day of 1934 of this golf course. That down there was one massive waste bunker. There was loads of them around this golf course. Ooh. And then there's Footjoy. And for those of you that have watched this channel and previous channel with Mark, I have been in Footjoy just forever. It feels like I've been in Footjoy forever. There has been times where I've been sort of worked a little bit with Peter Millar for a period on Mark's channel, but everything on this channel has been Footjoy. And I'm not going to lie, it was a massive shock when the guys at Footjoy said that they didn't want to carry on the contract with me for 2024. I have loved wearing Footjoy, certainly worn the glove, hat, but basically I've been head to toe in Footjoy for a number of years now, and we've done some fantastic things together when it's creating content for them at the Open, spending a lot of time with them on the campsite over there doing that, other opportunities which I feel like we've probably missed over time. But I have absolutely loved wearing the Footjoy products, and they have offered for me to carry on just wearing their products, but I feel like now is a good time to have a little look around and see what else is out there. And I am excited to say that I have found something. It's very different from my deals and things like that I was getting with Footjoy. However, I've been on a little trip recently when I went over with Jordan with Foremost, and I found a pair of shoes that I have to say are probably some of the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn on the golf course. And actually, there's some extra yardage, well, there's some extra tech that have gone into these new shoes that I cannot wait to share with you. Don't go at that pin. Don't go at that pin. Okay, emotional side of the brain is saying, oh my goodness, there's a bunker in front of me. Now I've got to go to that process side of the brain, which is telling me there's a bunker in front of you, you're landing on a downslope to a pin that's literally a metre on the green. So process side of me says, right, land this by the flag, get rid of that downslope, get rid of that bunker, land it by the flag, if not past the flag. So over towards you guys, the camera, and then leave myself an uphill putt. Do not make a bad decision after a short-sided shot into the green. There you go. Left myself about 12 feet up the hill, still got a birdie putt. Oof. Don't worry, Newport 2 is staying in the bag. One last thing about sponsorship things, I just want to take this chance to thank you for the support that you've given those companies as well. And the reason I say that is because, you know, they get involved with this channel because there's nearly 48,000 of you that tune in to watch my videos. They're trying to access you guys, and I get that, and that's what it's all about. That's how the world ticks along. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for anything that you've done to support those guys as well, as in bought a club, could even be a second-hand club, bought a pair of shoes, whatever it is. Thank you so much for your support, because that is what it's all about. Should we talk about vlogs now? Because ultimately that's what a lot of you signed up for this channel for. I love vlogs. They are literally the thing that I enjoy about this channel the most. Well, not as much as the Sunday morning show now, because I feel like the Sunday morning show I can get very kind of cinematic with things, and I can play some nice music and share off maybe some drone footage and things. Anyway, so vlogs are a thing that I really enjoyed from the beginning of making this channel. I started out this channel with vlogs because I wanted to go a little bit further and hopefully improve on what I was doing previously on Mark's channel. I wanted to use more cameras. Not saying that what Mark did wasn't good, it was fantastic, and we had an amazing time, but I wanted to use more cameras, and I wanted to do it in my time and my way, I suppose. And I know a lot of you want that back. They want the banter back, they want the fun back in this channel, and I understand it, fully understand it. However, there's a lot of things that have happened in the background that I just want to share with you. Not going to get personal, but I want to share with you as to why I've kind of fallen out of love with doing vlogs. So reading your comments last night, I actually wrote down a number of things of the reasons why vlogs kind of came to an end. I think it's always good to sit down and actually write down exactly what didn't come to an end, because we still do them. We just don't do them on a regular basis. And there's been a huge amount that's gone on. And obviously it's been a year gone now where Leicester's not been on the channel. And this was probably the starting point for me. He lost the love of it before I did, put it that way. And I've spoken to him, so we've been on the phone this morning and talked about what I'm going to say and some of the things. So don't worry about what I'm saying here about Leicester, because he's fully aware of it. However, my ambitions and Leicester's ambitions are actually very different. When I set out to do this, I wanted to travel. I love traveling. I love seeing different parts of the world. It's the adventured part that I really enjoy. Meeting new people, meeting new cultures, all of those sorts of things, which is the thing that I love about this the most, and something that I really wanted to experience. Now, Leicester being someone that I've known for most of my life, I wanted to experience it with him. I wanted to go with him, and we film together, we share our experiences together and go through that. Leicester doesn't want to travel. He doesn't like flying. I respect respect that, and I have respected that from the get-go. I've tried to get him to go through counselling and deal with that side of it, because I desperately wanted him to experience the things that I've experienced when I've gone travelling, and to me there's nothing better. When I turn around and see something amazing, I want to share that kind of with him, you know. I'd also travelled most of the southwest. We'd done most of the southwest, so to continue to go over the same golf courses and showcase the same places, it doesn't inspire me. Like, I want to go to different places. So there was an awful lot of driving, an awful lot of travelling involved when you're staying in the UK. So the love of it kind of got lost from that side of it from the beginning, and that is huge when it comes to the fun element, which is the bit that you enjoy. And then the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle is ultimately the cost of creating vlogs. Now, I have, to be fair, made them probably a little bit more expensive than they probably should be. However, when I bring these guys along, your Joe the Pros, your Gilly, my brother James Ruth, all these players that you see regularly on the channel, they're golf pros, and it really doesn't sit well with me that they don't get some type of financial reward for coming on to the channel. However, I did this because ultimately the vlogs were earning money. They were doing very well. They were earning money, certainly in the initial part of when we were getting going with things. However, that has not continued. Views have dropped off. The advert revenue is not as good as what it probably was. So therefore, financially, it was really, really difficult to make a vlog and actually make it pay the bills. And the argument to it is the fact that when I worked for Mark, I wasn't paid. I would go on these trips with Matt and Mark and Rory, and I would actually end up spending money to go on these trips. But ultimately, I used that as a platform to get more lessons, to start up my own YouTube channel, to create a social media following, to then get sponsorship off the back of it. It was a way in which I could earn money off the back of the exposure of being on Mark's channel. And from that side of it, you know, when you think about Chris Gill, you know, he loves being on the channel and he wants to be on the channel a little bit more, to be fair to him. And the exposure he gets is the fact that he showcases Newquay Golf Club, he showcases his pro shop, so he can capitalize off the back of that. And maybe that's actually the way to go when it comes to the discussions with the guys of being on for vlogs moving forward. And it's whether they want to use it as a springboard to increase their social media, to do all the things that I've just talked about there. It takes a certain person, I think, to want to be able to do that. Well, I hope that gives you a bit of an update on exactly what is going on and also what to expect from the Sunday morning show. You know, this show, like I said at the beginning, is very different from anything else that's probably out there when it comes to somebody's journey. But I use it as a platform to showcase what I'm doing, showcase what the channel is doing, what the other guys are doing as well, and sharing some of the stories like we did last week out on the golf course with Kelvin. Now, one thing I do want to share with you is I have a list here of all the vlogs that I still want to try and get around to get done. Break pass series, vlogging on the golf course with the guys, and obviously the names of the guys of who I would like to be involved on those particular vlogs at those particular venues. So, like I said, vlogs aren't dead. I would love to get them back up and running. I've just got to tick off a few of those boxes that I've talked about in this video in order to get things moving again in the right direction. But we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. Like I said, next week on the channel, I've got two videos that I need to try and get out, which is the Callaway driver video, and also I've got the SM10 Vokey review that I want to try and get done as well and put out onto the channel. So hopefully you'll enjoy watching those. And like I said, next Sunday, we'll be probably talking about the new opportunities that I've got and anything else when it comes to what I've been up to during the week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. I'll see you next week.